Hello and welcome. We have a Warrior Maven special. We were invited down to Fort Worth, Texas at the Lockheed Martin factory where they build the F-35s. And we had occasion to talk one-on-one with an F-35 pilot. It's one of those guys that goes to the air shows and does the high-speed vertical takeoffs and twists and twirls and maneuvers in the air.
As we look forward, our future is enhancing our capabilities inside this jet and then giving us weapons that will allow us to be even more capable in the high-threat environments that we know we're going to face in the future.
He's a former F-18 pilot. His name is Billy Flynn, and he has a keen sense of the margin of difference between what it's like to fly an F-18 and an F-35. He flew F-18 missions in the late 90s over Serbia, and one of the key elements of what he discussed was called MADL, Multifunction Advanced Data Link, and that enables a fleet of F-35s to all see the same thing at the same time.
One of the best capabilities on the F-35 is our capability to see and detect everything that exists on the ground, over the sea, and in the air, and then share that information with our multi-function advanced data link, we call it MADL, and share that information from one F-35 to the next. Everyone in the formation sees what everyone else sees in our
The data link relates to its broader ISR function. Then he talked about the F-35 as a flying computer or having a drone-like capability to scout the area below and send back real-time video. Its computers on board use algorithms to fuse information. So you have the DAS, or Distributed Aperture System, 6 cameras around the periphery so that the pilot can literally see behind him and down through the floor in real time. Now, it's based on the premise of long-range targeting and attack. The idea is to use mission data files or a library, a base of what exactly they're up against in terms of what an enemy would look like, and detect them at much further standoff ranges. So that in theory you can see and then use a long-range air-to-air missile or air-to-ground missile to destroy a target before you're even detected. That's part of the ISR function of how the F-35 was envisioned, and when it comes to stealth, the idea of what Billy Flynn talked about was that an F-18 would need in a contested area with advanced air defenses to fly around the periphery and would have limits in terms of its time on station and the kinds of attacks it could fly. But an F-35 is configured with stealth right from its inception so that it can go into those high-risk areas and still perform its function. He talked about the engineering of the airplane.
And the only way to build in that survivability is to build an aircraft that's stealthy from the word go, from the very beginning. The fuel is carried internally, 18,000 pounds of gas in an F-35A, 20,000 pounds of gas in an F-35C. The antennas are embedded in the skin of the airplane. Every sensor is flush mounted or integral to the airplane. It allows us to fly with less drag, like in a legacy platform. Every hinge, every panel, every bolt, every fastener is closed back up when we're done with the maintenance or the work on the airplane. And so that every time we take off in an F-35, we're in that perfect stealth, non-visible configuration every single time. And we designed it so that the stealth robustness will be maintained over the many decades that F-35s will fly.
One of the cutting-edge things taking place with the airplane is called automatic collision avoidance technology. What that is automation or computer algorithms such that in the event that a pilot is incapacitated, pulling too many Gs, gets disoriented in some way, the plane will itself take over the trajectory and stop a collision with the ground or with nearby terrain, like a mountain. And Billy Flynn said they're already starting to demonstrate the next iteration of what this technology can do, air-to-air collision avoidance. Now, AFRL developers, research lab with the Air Force, have explained to Warrior Maven this is a lot more advanced and takes next-generation algorithms to reroute something in relation to another moving platform. Here's what Billy said about it.
We've learned through implementing it in the F-16 fleet that it saves lives and what will be billions of dollars of our aircraft. And as we look forward to the future, we knew that we needed this capability into the F-35.
Along with this in concept, the F-35 also has something called Delta Flight Path, which is somewhat of an autonomous flying capability. So in the event that you come in for a landing and there's difficulties with wind and various variables when it comes to landing on a carrier, We talked to him sitting in a simulated cockpit of an F-35, designed to look and feel and operate exactly like an airplane does. But it's interesting, you can move it to the side and then vary your yaw or your turn. You can also use graphics right in front of you to find and then lock on an enemy target, such as an enemy plane. And there's a line right in front that shows you whether you're flying straight ahead or if you lift up and then take an upward trajectory. It also tells you your speed, but when you're going that fast, pilots say, you don't feel it as much because of the smoothness of the thrust behind you. And the plan is to rapidly move up to 60 per year and then ultimately more than 1,700 for the Air Force. Kris Osborn, Warrior Maven.